This is CBS.
Give the gift that brightens everybody's holiday. Give a jingle on New York Telephone.
Mazda 626. All-Star family sedan. Go! Racing toward record sales. Shouldn't your family feel just right? It's never been easier. With factory-to-dealer incentives, plus special options packages, you can save up to $1,820. Mazda, there's no stopping us now. And with deals like this, there's no stopping you.
At your local Mazda dealer now.
Lionel Kitty City has over 18,000 toys at the lowest prices of any toy store. It's like the world's biggest toy box.
Come to Lionel Kitty City for Mattel's Hug Light Mickey. Give him a hug and his face lights up. On sale now for just $12.88. And Mattel's Mickey or Minnie Footlight Slippers. Step down and the headlights go on. Now just $14.88. For a big selection at the guaranteed lowest prices, you can't beat the city.
Jason, did you put your toys away?
Uh-oh.
I'm Joe Montana. A few months ago, I challenged any Diet Coke celebrity to come on TV and take a blind taste test against Diet Pepsi. But no one had the courage to show up, so I'm going to take the test myself. Okay, next. Okay, who's the wise guy?
I don't know, but I got the right one, baby.
Diet Pepsi with 100% NutraSweet.
B.J. Thomas back on the road to success on Entertainment Tonight.
Now, Ernie Anastas, Michelle Marsh, Warner Wolf with sports, and Mr. G with weather. The first team. This is Channel 2 News at 11.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Michelle Marsh.
And I'm Ernie Anastas. Here's what's happening tonight. A late afternoon stroll past a neighborhood store proved deadly for a Manhattan grandmother. And tonight, officials blame heavy rains for a shower of brick and a devastating building collapse on 125th Street. Channel 2's Ren Scott live for us right now at the scene with the latest on that story. Ren?
Well, Ernie, where this happened was the Triple B clothing store here at 125th Street in Harlem. And as you can see behind me right now, workers are still cleaning up the debris, but they say the building appears stable now. They don't expect any further collapse. But earlier this afternoon, this was a scene of complete panic as thousands of bricks just like this, each weighing about 8 pounds, fell down on innocent people below.
It happened without warning. Thousands of bricks breaking loose from the roof of a 100-year-old building in Harlem and hitting the ground with the momentum of a 4-story fall. The debris fell on 11 people who were window shopping or just walking by. Kelly Jones and her sister were leaving the store. Their mother was waiting outside.
I saw people running and trying to clear the debris, and the debris catching up with them and knocking them down. And they were just covered. It was terrible.
Her daughter suffered minor injuries, but not everyone was as lucky. A 71-year-old grandmother was pronounced dead at the scene, and 10 others were rushed to area hospitals, 3 in critical condition. The first on the scene did what they could to help.
Me and my partner, we ran over there, and 2 guys with all the stuff. We picked up the thing, we pulled them to the side, and there was a baby and the mother. We pulled them to the side.
I noticed the sound, and then I attempted to turn around and see actually what was going on. But even as I did that, I mean, it was basically too late then, because by then there was already people buried underneath the rubble here.
At this point, investigators say there is no indication that the building was in violation of any city codes, and it appears no one was at fault. They believe the bricks were simply loosened by the recent heavy rains.
Rainwater built up behind the parapet and on top of the roof, and the buildup, in fact, took down the parapet.
Tonight, Mayor Dinkins toured the scene and then visited the injured in several area hospitals. He was particularly concerned about a 4-year-old girl who is in critical condition with head injuries.
While I'm saddened by the loss of life, of course, I'm just happy that no more persons were injured.
Now, tonight, the dead woman has been identified as 71-year-old Henry Green. She was named after her grandfather, and she actually did go by the name Henry. As we mentioned earlier, at this hour, 3 people are still in critical condition, including that 4-year-old girl. And as we also mentioned, officials say there was no one to blame in this incident. It's just a tragedy. No one knows why it had to happen, but there is nobody who's going to be held at fault, and no citations will be issued. Reporting live in Harlem, I'm Ren Scott. Let's go back to Michelle and Ernie.
All right, Ren, thank you. And tonight, the accusations of sexual abuse by a New Jersey elementary school principal are multiplying. From parents, the reaction is growing anger and concern. Channel 2's Reggie Harris has an exclusive interview with one mother who says her son was a victim.
This mother says photos of her son were among hundreds confiscated in a search of the school office and home of Gilbert Avenue Elementary's longtime principal, Samuel Brasiliano.
I saw about 8 pictures at the prosecutor's office. They were very suggestive poses. We're trying to find out if anything further happened.
She says her son was fully clothed, sometimes in shorts and T-shirts, sometimes in a jogging suit rolled partway up his legs. She says the boy was shown sitting on a chair, his legs open, hanging over the edges, his hands behind his head. The mother says her son's case will be an additional charge of endangering the welfare of a child, which the prosecutor will add to charges already filed, including one of sexual assault, where the principal allegedly touched a boy's buttocks. And the mother says the investigation is expanding quickly.
I talked to a lot of parents that have sons. I have not talked to one parent so far that said their son was not photographed.
The mother says she became suspicious of the principal last summer, but let her alarm slide, feeling she was being overly protective.
In July and August, when the school was closed, the principal called and asked me to drop my son off at the school so they could talk. No, I thought that was very strange, odd, and just not very professional. I said, thanks, but no thanks. We'll wait for the school year.
She says she reported the principal's calls to the school superintendent and accuses Dr. Victoria Williams of mishandling the complaint.
She told me that she talked to him and asked him how he handles if a child has a problem. And he says that he counsels them in his office. And she told him to stop doing that. He doesn't have a license to counsel. That's as far as it went.
Because we have an investigation concerning him ongoing, I will not respond to any questions about him at this time.
Williams says the school system did nothing wrong and that the main concern now is helping the children cope. In Elmwood Park, New Jersey, Reggie Harris, Channel 2 News.
Tonight, New York City school system is being blamed for an alleged case of sexual abuse. 6 angry parents today filed a $60 million lawsuit against the Board of Education. They fault the city for approving school bus supervisor Denise Macaluso. Macaluso is accused of sexually molesting at least 7 learning disabled students from Brooklyn.
It took the jury just hours to decide, and tonight both defendants in the second Bensonhurst racial killing trial are free, cleared of all major charges. Channel 2's Chris Borgen has the reaction from former defendants James Patino and Joseph Serrano.
I never lost any faith in the jury. I knew they'd come with a fair decision, and they knew it had nothing to do with the incident.
I'm sorry for what happened to Yusuf Hawkins, but I had nothing to do with it, and I said it over a year ago, and I still say it now.
The jury had taken less than 2 hours to reach its decision, finding Patino not guilty of all charges, and Serrano guilty only of the one minor count of possessing a baseball bat. Patino and Serrano were both tried on a number of charges, including murder and manslaughter in the death of black teenager Yusuf Hawkins, shot to death in Bensonhurst, August 1989, while being attacked by a group of bat-wielding white youths who were under the mistaken belief that the black youth and his friends were attending the birthday party of Gina Feliciano, a neighborhood white girl. Gina Feliciano, who has a long history of drug abuse, was the key witness for the prosecution and fingered Patino and Serrano as being members of the bat-wielding white youths who attacked the black teenager.
The case was built solely on 2 incredible witnesses, and this jury saw right through the hype, and they got right to the issue, and they acquitted these 2 young men very quickly.
The jury foreperson read the verdict in a loud, no-nonsense voice. In the case of James Patino, to the charge of murder by depraved indifference, not guilty. The charge of manslaughter, not guilty, and on to the end. Then Joseph Serrano's verdict, not guilty to murder, not guilty of manslaughter, not guilty of menacing, guilty only of possessing a weapon, the baseball bat he held the night Hawkins was shot to death. Joseph Serrano will return to court on January 11th to face his sentence, 1 year in jail, a possible $1,000 fine. Those in the know feel that he'll probably get nothing more than probation, at most a 30 days suspended sentence. From the Brooklyn Supreme Court, I'm Chris Borgen, Channel 2 News.
Jurors in the Central Park jogger trial have finished their longest day of deliberations. They called it quits about an hour ago with still no verdict there. Today, jurors watched again the videotaped confession of defendant Kevin Richardson, this time in a 10-minute session period. They also asked for the legal definitions of rape, sodomy, and sexual abuse.
And after 3 trials and 3 acquittals, he's earned the nickname the Teflon Don. But now another prosecutor is going after reputed mob boss John Gotti. The charge is expected to be murder. And as Channel 2's Mike Taibbi reports, this time the evidence may be far more damaging.
John Gotti has done well in court over the past 4 years. This was last February, after the reputed boss of the Gambino crime family had whipped the Manhattan DA and beat an attempted murder rap. As the papers were quick to point out, the so-called Teflon Don had also escaped federal prosecutors in Manhattan and Brooklyn since the rub-out of former Gambino boss Paul Castellano. But now, round 4 is right around the corner. Brooklyn, that is, Eastern District U.S. Attorney Andrew Maloney, apparently prevailed over Manhattan, the Southern District, to indict Gotti again, and with the help of what sources describe as dramatic evidence, to try and finally nail him with a murder rap. Maloney is saying nothing publicly.
I don't have any comment on that case.
No comment on that yet?
No comment.
But Gotti's lawyer is typically saying and writing plenty. In a letter to Maloney, attorney Bruce Cutler asserts that John Gotti is prepared to voluntarily surrender to any new charges, and that the only purpose an arrest would serve would be to further the already unfortunate press coverage and diminish his client's ability to receive a fair trial. It's the same old stuff, Cutler asserts. No jury has been fooled yet.
And never once did they ever convince one juror in 3 trials to say he ever did anything wrong. So that's why I'm optimistic, and that's why Mr. Gotti's optimistic, and that's why I wrote the letter to Maloney to say, here we are. Give me a call, and we'll go wherever you want us to go.
But is it the same case dusted off for one more go? One law enforcement source who's worked organized crime told me the Castellano rub-out will be laid more closely at Gotti's doorstep than ever before, through civilian bystander witnesses and a new batch of wiretaps. And the link between that hit and other murders will become clearer, the source said, when U.S. Attorney General Richard Thornburg and other high-ranking FBI officials get to New York for the big press conference, perhaps in a matter of days, and certainly before Christmas. In Brooklyn, Mike Taibbi, Channel 2 News.
And we have much more ahead for you this Tuesday night, including President Bush's latest message to the Mideast.
Some tough talk as the clock ticks down on a deadline for war. Also, how our local troops cope with being away from the home front in our special report from Saudi Arabia. And later on, the Daily News is printing another kind of paper. We will explain.
Channel 2 News at 11, sponsored by Trump Plaza Hotel and Casino.
On the road, the Infiniti Q45 becomes a living, breathing thing. You feel it work the wind and seize the road. Feel the embrace of leather and luxury. The rarity of a 278 horsepower V8 engine that was born to run. And begin to understand why Road and Track has named it one of the 10 best cars in the world.
It's 25 to 50% off. The one. Wednesday's the one. A&S one-day sale. 25 to 50% off thousands of Mrs. Holiday sweaters. And blouses. 25 to 40% off her favorite robes. And sleepwear. 25% off every women's leather boot. Every cold weather boot. Every leather glove. Plus an extra 25% off every Mrs. and Junior coat and jacket. Every designer, too. Wednesday's the one. The one. With gifts for everyone. A&S one-day sale. 8 a.m. to midnight. Terrific.
Most videos shot with today's small camcorders come out looking shaky like this. Okay. But now, with a push of a button, they come out steady like this. Panasonic introduces the Palm Quarter, the compact camcorder with the digital image stabilizer.
I can't believe this, Brian. You're lifting it.
It's small and lightweight, so it fits in the palm of your hand. Yet the Palm Quarter uses videotapes that can play in any VHS recorder.
Brian.
The Palm Quarter from Panasonic, just slightly ahead of our time.
Tonight, a television report out of Britain says Iraq is offering to pull out of most of Kuwait. In exchange, Saddam Hussein reportedly wants a key oil field and a promise that the U.S. will not attack. U.S. officials cannot confirm this report. And President Bush says Hussein still doesn't get it. Speaking in Uruguay, Mr. Bush said Iraq doesn't understand the impact of the UN resolution calling for military force. Senate Democrats continue to say give the economic sanctions time to work. 2 more congressional committees have now opened hearings on the Gulf crisis. And 15 freed American hostages arrived at Kennedy Airport today. Boxing great Muhammad Ali persuaded Hussein to let them go. Hussein is also reportedly releasing all Soviet citizens, trying perhaps to win back an old ally. 3,000 Soviets begin leaving tomorrow.
And tonight at Floyd Bennett Field in Brooklyn, about 100 Marines are getting ready for the long trip to Saudi Arabia. The first stop, Camp Lejeune in North Carolina. From the last stop, Saudi Arabia, John Slattery reports now on the complex supply lines linking our troops with the U.S.
Enormous transport planes bring them in, and here they stay. 230,000 American troops. Another 100,000 are on the way for a buildup with no end in sight. And with this, an airbase in eastern Saudi Arabia, any military action would make this location a primary target. So the cargo planes that come in get out as soon as they can. Everything that stays must be fortified. Sandbags are everywhere. Camouflage is the order of the day. So much here is not what it appears. Camouflage covering buildings, and off in the distance, sand dunes that are not sand dunes. The dunes in the distance are actually airplane hangars, disguised to blend in with the terrain. Around this base, there are dozens of such structures where full maintenance is performed. Work for most servicemen and women means a 12-hour day, which leaves many hours of downtime, and what the troops look forward to most is the mail. This woman is from New Jersey.
It's real important to me, I know that. And since everybody here lives for the mail, I was like, did I get any mail? Did I get any mail?
1800 or 1830, when the mail calls, everybody's out here, and hope to get them out every day.
How important is it?
It's real important. It brings up the morale and spirit of the guys.
Posted on the walls are letters from school kids.
That's from Girl Scout Troop 11 at Medford, New Jersey. We got lots of moms, brothers, and sisters back there in the States.
It's like a lifeline back to the States, back to our families. It's a message of encouragement, of strength, you know, of letting us, they know how much they support us back there.
The mail comes by the box load, enormous boxes, dozens at a time. Then into truckloads, mail and packages from home, and from people the servicemen don't even know.
We do respond to quite a few letters. It's hard to keep up with them, especially the kids, but we try as hard as we can to keep up with the mail.
Rereading letters occupies much of their time. Soldiers and airmen, just for a moment, reaching back home, wishing they could be there, but not knowing when. In Saudi Arabia, John Slattery, Channel 2 News.
And tomorrow, John Slattery will continue his week-long series on life behind the scenes of Operation Desert Shield. You can see his special reports right here on Channel 2 News.
Coming right up tonight, Rock's back from the coast with a giant disappointment.
Plus a look at what's next for the new Knicks coach. And later on, our Maury Alder introduces you to a real sport on and off the ice.
My country tis of thee,
You don't have to go far to see the Bill of Rights in action.
I don't know what those politicians are thinking about.
Now, you don't have to go far to see the Bill of Rights. Philip Morris Companies proudly announces the 200th anniversary tour of this historic document. It's coming to every state in the Union, centerpiece of an extraordinary exhibition. an opportunity to stand closer to freedom than ever before.
Gonna let freedom.
Quaker Oat Squares. You're gonna love them from square one.
Love that crunch.
Love the toasty taste. Love the touch of brown sugar. Surprise! Quaker Oat Squares. You're gonna love them from square one.
It's here, Macy's one-day sale, Wednesday, 8 to 11. Save 20 to 50% store-wide at Macy's.
We're a part of your life.
Warner Wolf Sports, sponsored by Citibank.
You know what happened Saturday? I'm babysitting the kids. We're painting. The phone rings. It's my new bank. No. No, they were just checking up to see if everything was okay.
Yeah, everything's
And then
fine.
she asked me if I got my checks.
No,
I hadn't
no, I
gotten the
didn't get
checks. She said they probably got lost in the mail, and she was sending out new checks right away. No. And then she asked me if there was anything that they could do for me.
The bank called you at home on Saturday.
That's right. Can you believe it? Does your bank do that?
No.
Understanding what service is all about. That's not just banking. That's city banking.
Big story in sports tonight. I guess you could say he went from rags to riches.
You got it. Some
Something
hot
like that.
news out of the winter meetings for
Yeah.
baseball. New York Yankees have lost their ace in the pen. Tonight, the San Francisco Giants announced they have signed reliever Dave Righetti to a 4-year contract worth an estimated $10 million. The former 1981 Rookie of the Year had his best moment back on July 4th, 1983, when he no-hit the Boston Red Sox. Rags also held the season save record until Bobby Thigpen broke it last year. It's a loss of a big name, which will leave a gaping hole in the Bombers' bullpen, no doubt. Earlier today, the Yankees made a commitment to a guy they want to keep, gave Steve Sachs a new 4-year contract extension through 1995. Well, the John McLeod era began tonight for the New York Knicks, but did it begin on a winning note against the Orlando Magic? Out to the Garden we go. McLeod couldn't have liked what he saw tonight, though. Poor John was saying, what's going on? The Knicks making a lot of mental mistakes this evening. Kiki's pass to Wilkins, into the Magic hands, to Catledge, 2 of his 24 points in the jam. Orlando led by as many as 12. Reynolds with a move on Vandeweghe. Goodbye, Kiki. Out to Scotty Skiles, got 2 of his 24. A spoiled start for McLeod as the Knicks have now lost 6 of their last 7.
We're much better than this, and there will be a turnaround. When the turnaround comes, I don't know, but there will be a turnaround, and we will be I guarantee you, we will be a much better club.
We'll see, John. Across the river, the Nets were busy hosting the Supersonics. Here's what happened at the Meadowlands. First half, Nets with a 4-on-1 fast break. Check out the sweet passing buoy to Reggie Theus underneath for 2 of his 29. Late in the first half, though, the Nets lose Derek Coleman for the rest of the ball game. Sidal Threet's feet found a tender spot. The big man goes down, turned his ankle as he hit the floor. Derek is listed as day-to-day. 30 seconds left in the game, though. Nets up 1. Chris Dudley with a play of the game off the miss here by Theus. Dudley goes up strong for the tip-in hoop. Nets went on to win their 5th in 6 games, 106-102. In college hoops, the ACC Big East Challenge continued tonight. Out to the Carrier Dome we go, where the Seton Hall Pirates pounded the Tigers of Clemson. The Hall putting on the pressure early. Terry DeHare got the steal, stays with it, went in for 2 of his 25 points. He and Anthony Avent combined for 45 points as PJ's Pirates went on to win it easily by 16. Second game, Syracuse off and running against NC State. LaRon Ellis on the end for the power jam. Syracuse jamming all night long at the end of the first half off the steal. It would be Billy Owens gathering it up off to Dave Johnson all alone to rock the rim. Final score, just in 86-79 Syracuse. On the rink tonight, only one local in action as the Islanders took on the Vancouver Canucks at the Coliseum. Third period tied at 2. 5 minutes left in the game. Greg Adams with a nice move. Beats Glenn Healy right there. Canucks add an empty netter to win it by the final of 4-2. Well, the football, you can bet they'll be debating the Giants-49ers game until the next time the two teams meet, maybe in the playoffs. The bottom line, the Giants had 2 solid chances to score a touchdown and failed. First half inside the Frisco 10, Giants had to settle for their only 3 points of the game. Otis Anderson bottled up on 3rd and goal. And the controversial call. Phil Simms misses Lionel Manuel on 4th and goal from the 9 late in the game. Bill Parcells will continue to take heat for that call. After the game, some Giant players had this reaction to going for the touchdown instead of the field goal.
I knew the situation that we had to probably go for it because he felt maybe we might not get the ball back. So, you know, he did what he thought we had to do to win the game.
It's a gutsy call, a tough call to make, but somebody got to make the call. You can't pass it down and put it up for vote. He's the head man. He made it, and we live by it.
After the ball game, Parcells said they had to go for it because the 49ers offense was too dangerous. But even if the Giants had scored a touchdown, the Niners would still have gotten the ball with about 4 minutes left and down by only 3. By the way, the playoffs started this weekend. Giants at 10-2 would still have to play the 3rd playoff team in the wild card situation. That's because the Bears at 10-2 have a better record in the conference. So they've got to start winning. Go Giants, all right?
Things change so quickly, don't they? Up next, Mr. G says the weather and the calendar are finally beginning to match up.
Plus, some windy seas are churning up trouble along the Atlantic coast. Coming up.
Good news for the O'Brien family. Honda now makes an Accord station wagon. Honda, the car that sells itself. At your Tri-Honda dealer.
The greatest travel bargain on earth is waiting. For less than the price of a stamp, you can go anywhere, anytime, effortlessly. You can leave from almost any corner. 50,000 people are making sure you have a good trip. There's nothing faster, or easier, or more certain. Yet for all you get, it costs amazingly little. It's AT&T Long Distance.
During the holidays, some of the most together women begin to unravel, rip apart at the seams, even fold under pressure, especially when they receive a gift of gold jewelry. And now is your golden opportunity to treat a special woman on your list to the gift you know she'll love. With so many styles available, there's one bound to make even the most unflappable woman crumple. Golden opportunities. From Fortunoff, the source.
Sony unleashes V, a brilliant new videotape with higher magnetic energy. V's high-packing technology puts more uniform particles on tape to capture more precise color and music, scene after scene, time after time. See how vivid video can be. New Sony V. Available at J&R Music World.
And they say Chicago's the windy city. We're not doing too bad, are we?
Well, really chilly, and the wind chill factor is down to 17 degrees. That's what it feels like in the Midtown area. Remember, we were in the 50s. Well, we're going downward. Let's do it, everybody. But first, let's head to the coastal waters of New England. Gloucester, Massachusetts, experiencing tides way above the normal, caused by almost a full moon and strong, gusty winds from the first from the east and out from the west. But for us, the big story is the winds. They will pick up. Right now at 12, everybody's in the 30s, so let's get right to it. The big story was the rain amounts. Look at Ringwood, Long Island, the Webfoot Award. That's in New Jersey, rather. 2.84 inches of rain, 1.74 here in the Midtown area. You want to see a cold front? Classic. There it is offshore. The drying beginning. The wind chill factor tomorrow only near 20 degrees. So the chill will be on Wednesday, but Thursday it gets nicer and nicer. Here comes the sun. Temps will be in the mid-40s. And what about Friday? Nice. Ditto. More of the same. Temperatures will be in the mid to upper 40s. And for our friends Bellevue South, nursery school in Manhattan, they will have a nice day as well. 5-day forecast? Yeah. After this.
The one. Wednesday's the one. A&S one-day sale.
Save 25 to 60%.
Wednesday's the one. A&S one-day
8
sale.
a.m. to midnight. Terrific.
The amazing thing about this engine is that it actually uses more gas than this engine.
News and improved. New York Newsday, the best newspaper on New York, in New York, just got faster and easier to read. Look at the news highlights on page 2. That's long enough, because now you know what's hot in the nation, the state, and the city, and you know where to find it. With New York Newsday's new layout, you'll go from the latest New York City news to the greatest New York sports in a New York minute. What are you waiting for? Pick up your new, improved New York Newsday. Truth, justice, and the comics, only better.
A little thing like this can cause your brakes to fail. So when I do a brake job, I never fail to inspect it. At Meineke, nothing is unimportant.
All right, we stayed tranquil for the next 3 to 5 days. This time of season, that is a gift. Clear skies and colder. The big town, 30 to 35, north and west, 20 to 25 for tomorrow. Windy and cold, temperatures between 35 and 40. Normal should be 46. Home run. Michelle, Ernie, Rocker, we stay dry. No major storms. Everybody's in the 40s until further notice. Nice.
It's a cold home run, but
Chilly.
it's a home run. Okay. A 5-week-old strike by 9 unions didn't stop the presses on a new afternoon edition of the Daily News today. 30,000 copies of the new afternoon edition hit the stands in Manhattan early this afternoon. The paper's management hopes to win back more than half the readers lost since the walkout began. But striking unions called the new edition a desperate move doomed to failure.
In just a moment, we're going to meet a young man who cuts a fine figure on the ice.
A figure that's an inspiration to others. Next.
Let's talk cash flow. When you lease a car, you want the lowest down payment and low monthly payments so your cash isn't tied up. Well, now you can get this 1991 Cadillac DeVille on a new GMAC 24-month lease with no down payment and only $498 a month. It's at your Tri-Statesman for a limited time, so see him soon. No down payment, $498 a month, 24 months, and that's on a Cadillac.
It's here, Macy's one-day sale, Wednesday, with special hours 8 to 11. It's the perfect time to find every one of our name brand electronics on sale. Find savings on the latest technology and innovations in home entertainment. Save on every TV, VCR, camcorder, and much more. All from the store with a tradition of quality and value. Macy's one-day sale, Wednesday, 8 to 11. Don't miss it.
Macy's, we're a part of your life.
A Wall Street tycoon.
This could be the best sex we've had in a long time.
His Fifth Avenue mistress.
It has its funny side.
The right car, the wrong turn. A reporter craving fame.
Look at him.
A city hungry for headlines. Tom Hanks, Bruce Willis, Melanie Griffith. Just watch the sparks fly. The best-selling book is now the movie, The Bonfire of the Vanities. Rated R. Starts Friday, December 21st at a theater near you.
Diet Coke salutes the people and places of New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut.
Not for the way it goes down easy. Not for the way it puts a smile on your face. Not for the way it quenches a big thirst. Not for the way it puts a show on you. Just one reason. Just one reason. Just for the taste of it. Diet Coke.
We have a late report now into Channel 2 News. Police may have interrupted a kidnapping in progress in Queens. Here's what's happening. Police apparently stopped a car on suspicion of auto theft. In the trunk, a man was handcuffed. You have a live picture there now. And in the car itself, at least one of the men was reportedly wrapped with wire. He claims the wires lead to a bomb. Well, the bomb squad is also at the scene, along with police emergency units. We will have more on this on Channel 2 News tomorrow, and perhaps in a little while from now, I should say. We're keeping an eye on that story, yes.
Yeah. Well, finally tonight, a local college student who's become an inspiration on the ice. Channel 2's Maury Alter has a Here's to You report highlighting one of the people who makes our area so special.
Hey, up down in both corners. All the pucks in both corners.
It's fun to practice when you're coming off a win, which the College of Morris Titans were, having beaten Ocean Community College over the weekend. Their next challenge, Columbia, then Rutgers. No small challenge for a 2-year community college with a part-time coaching staff.
So everybody got a puck. We're going to do the circles. Figure 8 circles, or all 5 circles.
That's the head coach, Ed Nelson.
2 at a time going down.
And Bob Montarelli works mostly with the goalies. Speaking of challenges, the wing there, number 7, Kurt Biermeister, knows what challenge is all about.
It was in the fall of '83. They think I had a virus. They really aren't sure. They think it was a virus that deteriorated the nerve, and so far they haven't been able to, determine what it was. It's just guesswork now. They really don't know.
What everyone did know was that at age 16, Kurt had lost his hearing. Suddenly, he entered the world of the deaf.
College was a challenge. In class and on campus, a hearing aid and his ability to read lips help. On the ice, no hearing aid.
Compensating for it, I'd say I can see people's reflections in the glass. When I'm looking at the glass, somebody's behind me, I can see them if the glass is clean enough. Usually it's not. But other than that, I really don't have much of a problem at all.
I think it takes a lot, you know, to be able to do that. I know if I couldn't hear, I wouldn't be out here right now.
The other players really, you know, kick a little extra, I think, because they say, hey, listen, if he can hear and he can listen, he can do the things that we're trying to do, you know, we should be able to do it as well.
I think the nicest thing I could say about Kurt would be the type of boy you'd like to have for a son.
Enough to make any mom proud. But Joanne Biermeister was even prouder when she learned.
Kurt was picked June 16th to go for the deaf national team, the United States team, and he and 25 other young men will be going to Banff in Canada to skate against the Russians and the Canadians.
I can't wait. It's going to be a once-in-a-lifetime experience. I'm really happy about it.
Mom became Kurt's personal fundraiser for the Winter Games, and we're not talking all expenses paid to Banff here.
I've gotten a good portion of it, but I'm still not all the way there.
So when it comes to challenges, I guess it's kind of like son, like mother. Maury Alter, Channel 2 News.
Very special young man.
Wonderful. That's Channel 2 News for this Tuesday. I'm Michelle Marsh.
I'm Ernie Anastas. Have a good night. See you tomorrow.